Hello guys, good evening. This is FTS once again. I am not a financial advisor, neither do I give financial advice. This video is for educational purpose only. And as we know, past profits do not guarantee future results. The forex market is volatile. As you take your trades, apply risk management. All right, so this is one of the most important week or period of the year, right? Because this week we have NFP and we have the tariff deadline that is approaching the 1st of August, right? And we also have non-farm payroll and some other key economic activities, right? So let's just follow what we have here. It says that this week, right, being today is 27, tomorrow being Monday is 28, right? So that is this week, right? Investors, we closely monitor trade negotiations between the US and its key partners, particularly, just a minute, let me get this. All right, you can follow, particularly the Euro area, right? As the August 1st deadline for sweeping tariffs approach, right? So it will also be the busiest week for earnings with mega caps, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and Meta to set a report alongside other major firms such as Boeing, PayPal, Visa, Mastercard. Right? So this week is also packed with key monetary policy decisions from the Feds, the Bank of Japan, and Bank of Canada, and the Central Bank of Brazil. On data front, the US economic calendar is heavy, yet very heavy, featuring the advanced estimate of second quarter GDP, monthly job reports, PCE release, and ISM Manufacturing PMI. Elsewhere, attention will also turn to parliamentary GDP and inflation figures from the Euro area, that is Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. China PMI and GDP from Mexico, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and monthly GDP from Canada, right? So I want to show us the analysis I did within a week, right? So we saw that within a week the dollar rallied, right? So let me show us from my own trading community, right? So I've already opened something that I want to show us from there. So just let me show us, okay? I'm going to show you there, go back to the normal chart, right? Now, I did some analysis, right? So this is dollar index. I want us to watch this very well, right? Yeah, so we did analysis and we saw that the dollar was supposed to rally. So this is on Tuesday, right? It's on Tuesday, and let's see how the whole market went. So this is dollar index, this is DSY, this is JPY. So we think that the dollar should rise, right? Yeah. And this is USJPY. This is NZD USD Kiwi dollar, right? So a retest and a sell. Then this is USD CHF, a rally. Euro USD a sell. And this is GBP USD, right? Yeah, and this is Aussie USD, right? Okay, so let us go back to our chart and confirm some of this analysis, right? Let's go back to our charts on trading view, okay? You can see. So this is the dollar index, right? So dollar index, as we analyze, you can see, right? From here, dollar rallied all the way to this point, right? Just like to show us. Then Kiwi dollar, right? Let's see Kiwi dollar, you can see the analysis all the way from here. Look at it, right? Yeah, and price dumped right to this level, and here the USD CHF, let's see it. It was a bullish move. Okay, you can see from here, right? Yeah, and our price rallied all the way right to this level. Okay, USD card, we are still there for USD card. Okay, I think we did that as well. Where is it? I don't think we did that for USD card. So we did for Euro USD. Yes, so look at Euro USD here, and price hits came back and hit stops, right? But price still went the direction GBP USD. Yes, we did for that as well. And you can see from here, look at it from here, but price didn't get to the entry, right? So the analysis I did, almost all of them went in direction, but just that some did not get to the entry, right? So look at this, right? Yeah, and hit here, and that's a move to the downside. So if you look at them from H2 or H4, you can see that you can see right from here. Look at the arrows from here. UPUSD, same. Look at it. Euro USD, Euro USD here, but it hit stops for coming down again, right? Okay, here is CHF. You can see, look at the arrow from here. Yeah, because that was I posted it for 15 minutes time frame. That's why we could get a look at this, right? Yeah, and USJPY is bullish. Look at it from here, and that's it. So you can see how the market played that over the weekend. Then last week, look at dollar index from here, right? Yeah, got it from here and it rallied from here and right got to destination. So you can see how the analysis were done, right? So on like as we said before, the upper week that when price gets here, we should expect a bearish move, right? So all of a sudden there was a turn in the market, right? So we bought all the way, we bought price from here, and we took advantage of the market that was on Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that was how we some persons that took the trade. Right? So for me, I was so busy over the week that I could not trade, but I dropped the setups in my trading communities, and those some persons took the trade, while some persons did not take the trade because I was busy. I could not trade, right? So let's head over to the week analysis, right? Yeah, let's head over to the week analysis. Let's see our economic calendar. Though I've showed us activity for the week, right? So my analysis is gonna be based on what we have here, right? Okay, so this week, like I said, is very busy week for the dollar, and most countries like Canada, back of Japan, right? They are going to do they are going to carry out uh, uh, interest rate decision, right? Similar to the United States, the FOMC, right? Yeah. So the first having the FOMC, but we could analyze all of them together and see the direction of the dollar for this week, and gold and all of that, so that we know what to do, right? Yeah. So first of all, Monday there's no key economic activity, right? Yeah. So according to investing.com, there is no key economic activity on Monday. So market really we open from Tuesday, right? So that's going to be where we should focus more on. So on Tuesday, we're going to have consumers confidence, right? So consumer confidence is key because a country that the consumer they are confident in spending and are confident in the economy, it tells you that that economy is what is expanding, not contracting. But if there is less consumers confidence, it means investors and people within the economy, they don't have vote of confidence on their own economy. So you might likely see it from the outcome of the data that will likely present itself, right? But based on the forecast and previous, there's highly chances that the dollar will gain more strength because of the consumers' confidence, right? Yeah, and also job listings. So job listings talked about, right? Those are that fight for jobs, companies that are trying to take people in, right? So that's okay. We have opportunities in our companies. People should come and apply for jobs, right? So you can call it a job listing or job openings, right? Yeah. So whenever we have job openings like this, an opportunity for more people to get job within the economy, right? So this is so key, right? So whenever we have things like this, it shows that even whenever we have a higher figures, right? It shows that the economy would likely expand and the economy is doing well, right? So let's see what we have, right? So I'm trying to analyze the market based on the market bias so that we'll know where we'll go, right? But this week for me, I will not really analyze the market bias or market sentiment, but I will tell us why. Now, the reason why I'm not going to do that for the dollar because we have two key economic indicate news, right? First of all, we have the FOMC, the interest rate. From our analysis so far, we all know that they will not hike rate because of the last month's the previous NFP and the retail sales month of month, right? So the retail sales month of months, right, shows that the economy is expanding. So and also the job openings that happened last month, right, last NFP showed that there was no need to rush to cut rate, right? But Trump is trying to force Powell to cut rate, right? But Powell is standing his ground that he will not cut rate, that there is no need for the country to cut rate. And you can confirm that from the Fed rate was to so FOMC is 2 days from today, that's on Wednesday, right? So you can see that from here, you can see easy. Easy means cutting of rate. Hiking means the likely hike rate, right? Why no change means it's going to be sticky, right? So probably for them not to cut rate in the next meeting is what 97%. So we are not expecting rate cut, but there is an impact of this on dollar. That is when the NFP will likely determine that on Friday, right? That is why I cannot do analysis to forecast where the dollar is going right now. Anybody tell you the dollar is going this way, I tell you this NFP will likely alter the direction of the market depending on the output of the NFP. If NFP data is above market expectations, as it may, I tell you the dollar will soar. But if it's below market expectations, the dollar will crash. Now that is one aspect. Then the other aspect of the dollar going, why I cannot really tell, right, is because of the deadline for the Trump 2.0 tariff, right? Reciprocal tariff, right? The deadline is set to August 1st, right? It first happened in the month of February, March, right? So he gave 3 months grace. After 3 months grace, then he gave another 1 month grace to elapse on the 1st of August, right? So every country that are key partners to the United States, they are working towards the 1st of August. Like Japan have already concluded their own, China have concluded their own, right? Yeah, some countries, even Brazil, have already concluded their own, right? The country that is left to conclude theirs would be EU, right? Yeah, country that is left to conclude theirs will be EU, and they're 50-50 that EU will likely reach agreement, I think, then, right? So this is the European Commissioner, European Commission, the personnel, right? Von der Leyen, right? So they might likely see that EU might reach a 50-50 agreement, right? With Donald Trump. And like what it says, look at what it says here, right? He said President Donald Trump expressed hope he could resolve differences with the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, right, over their relationship ahead of Friday's deadline. So this Friday, which is the first, is the deadline. So Trump suggests pharmaceuticals may not be addressed in a deal, right? Saying pharmaceuticals will be parts of it because they are very special, and we have uh, we have to have them built, then made the US or made in the United States, right? So EU faces a 30% tariff if a deal isn't reached by August 1st, right? Which could set off a retaliatory measure that threatens to raise price of consumers on both sides of the Atlantic, right? So we all know that from last week, Japan got a reduction in their tariff from 25% to 50%. Even Taiwan also got the same thing, right? No, Taiwan got 20, Japan got 15, right? From the agreement, Japan invested $500 billion in the United States economy, right? So they had an MOU. So because of that, so they had an agreement, right? So for the EU, a 30% slam is on them. So depending on how, if they could reach an agreement, right, before that day, right, it might favor both parties. But if they don't reach an agreement, it might not favor the EU, right? So for me, I will not be able to tell you where the dollar will go this way because the news, they are high impact news, and for me, it's not about what happens that day, but the analysis, the interpretation of what will be the outcome of uh August 1st, which is on Friday, right? When we have NFP as well, the outcome, right? For me, the FOMC might not really make impact per se, as it might not really determine where price will go, where the dollar will go next, because there's not going to be rate change, right? But on Monday, the August 1st, where the Trump 2.0 reciprocal tariff the deadline will elapse, right? And the NFP, these are the things that will actually determine the fate of the dollar. right? So for me, that's going to be the destination of the dollar, right? Then so that is it. So all these things you're seeing here, they might not really determine where the dollar is going, but it might likely be a market sentiment, sentiment based on direction, right? How do I mean? When like on Wednesday, right? Based on the outcome of the actual data that will likely come out, we might likely buy on sell based on that. But for me, this week the dollar might be positive, pending the outcome of the NFP and the August 1st, which is the deadline for the reciprocal tariff expiration, right? So Trump 2.0 would likely kick off from August 1st, right? So for me this week, the dollar, I might not really tell the destination of the dollar, right? Yeah, but apart from the dollar, we have some other, countries that likely have interest rate, right? So you can see Bank of Canada, right? On Wednesday, Bank of Canada will likely have their own interest rate, right? And from the look of things, they might likely not go to hike rate, right? Yeah, the rate might be sticky as well. So on Wednesday as well, like I've said, we have FOMC, right, which is a United States interest rate decision, right? It's called FOMC, right? The Feds are meeting, the eighth member of the Fed would likely meet and would likely tell us, okay, they're likely going to go down, they're likely not going to cut rate, it's going to be sticky as Powell have already stated from time that it's not going to hike rate, no matter what Trump does, unless Trump fires him, and Trump is mounting pressure on how he will likely fire Powell, right? Then there will likely be a press statement. The press statement is when Powell will likely speak, right? Then on Thursday, Bank of Japan will likely have will likely have their own interest rate decision meeting. Though for this Bank of Japan, right, it might not go like this, right? Because there's a pressure on a casual whether to hike rate, right? Some of the committees on the Bank of the Bank of Japan are saying that okay, after the reciprocal tariff, there's the probability that you know they should hike rate because their 10 years bond yield has started gaining strength. So there's a probability that it might likely lead to rate hike. So let's see how on Thursday meeting would be, right? Yeah, so all these core PC and initial jobless claims and all of that, they are key economic event, but they might likely not determine where price will go because we have NFP, which has to do with what the job data for the United States, right? And also reciprocal tariff 2.0 deadline that same Friday, right? So this Friday is going to be a banger because of that, right? Why for Euro area, right? You see their CPI, right? So they might likely cut rate. So they are still on the cutting cycle, right? So they are still might likely cut rate. So the more they are cutting rate, the more they are devaluing the currency, the more the euro would likely fall, right? So last week, I think within the week we had that euro area did not hike, right? Their rate was sticky, right? Yeah, Lagarde concluded that they will not hike rate this time. They will likely hike rate, I think, towards the end of the year, and there is no need for them to hike rate as well, right? So whenever they let the euro gain strength, but let's see, if the rate, if the inflation is coming down, right, with the CPI, right? Yeah, if the inflation is coming down, right, that means then they might likely not go to hike rate here, right? Yeah, it is when inflation is going on, that is when they will likely going to hike rate. So on Friday, NFP is a banger, and that's a Friday as well. The reciprocal tariff deadline will elapse, and from there, Trump will not enact or implement the Trump 2.0 tariff that he has already slammed on their key economic partners, right? So those are the two economic activities for that Friday that will likely move the market. And with this, on this day, that is where we'll know if the dollar would likely pick up from here, right? Yeah, or if the dollar will likely come down as expected because of the tariff crisis, right? The dollar has been on a bearish trend, so this is just like a retracement, but well, technically we had it right. Yeah, so we're expecting the dollar to come down if the tariff 2.0 is going to be implemented by the United States, right? But for now, the United States has been favored because most countries are coming to terms with the United States on Trump 2.0 tariff, right? So the United States has been gaining, has been favored so far, right? But on Friday, we will know the verdict of how everything would likely going to turn around. Then for gold. right? So as we all know, gold and the United States dollar, they are negatively correlated, right? So this was the outcome of it because as the dollar was going up, gold was also coming down, right? Yeah, technically this was a good technical analysis from gold, right? Those are sold from here, right? Yeah, there was something that happened, I think on Thursday or so. Gold was selling, dollar was also selling. This sell we saw here, right? I'm going to do analysis on how to trade gold, right? Yeah, a video on how to trade gold. I think I'm going to talk about that later. I think after this video, that's going to be the next video I'm going to talk about. I'm going to show us how to trade gold because some people are asking me how do I trade gold? That they love trading gold, right? But I want to talk about this point, right? This point that gold did retracement from here. If you look at it together with the dollar index, you will see that it they went the same that they both sold until the dollar started buying again, right? Now until the dollar had a retracement and all of that, right? So I think the next video one I'm gonna do video on teach us on how to trade gold, right? Yeah, so like I said, this week I am not jumping into the directional bias of the dollar, right? Because of the key economic activities we are having this week, right? So this week is going to be a banger. It's going to be the most important week for the year because that is when we'll know if the dollar will likely get strength or the dollar will continue the bearish trend based on the reciprocal tariff 2.0, right? So all of this minority matter. So the FOMC on Wednesday, then NFP and Trump 2.0 tariff deadline, which will likely end on August 1st, are going to be the main focus for the week. So for me, there's no point rushing to tell us, okay, this week the dollar should buy or this week the dollar should sell. No, that is not wise. So we'll wait for the outcome of this because that is how you do fundamental analysis, right? You wait for the outcome, then you analyze, then you likely tell the short term, the mid term, and the long term analysis impact of that particular economic news event on how it's going to affect the particular currency you're going to analyze, right? Yeah, so that is it. So that is it for me for this week, right? So for me, I'm going to focus more on the dollar, right? Yeah, on this news, on this day, I'm going to focus on Tuesday. On Wednesday as well, I'm going to focus on some of the outcome that will likely come out, right? Whether it's going to be below market expectations or above market expectations. Then on Thursday as well, back of Japan, um, then a core PCE and all of this. So I'm going to still focus on I'm going to trade based on market expectations, right? Then on Friday, which is the D-Day, NFP on Fridays and Trump reciprocal tariff 2.0 deadline we allow, then Trump will likely uh, uh, impose the 2.0 on countries that could not come to agreement or negotiate or the negotiation table with the United States, right? So that is it for me this week, right? So if you have not subscribed or like or comment on my channel, please lightly do that so that you can get more analysis, right? Like I've said, fundamental analysis controls price, the time your market is going, and it controls volatility and everything. So if you can analyze where market is going using fundamental analysis, I tell you every other thing in the market becomes secondary, right? Yeah, so that is it for me uh for this week, right? So like I said, for those in my trading community, I'm likely going to post analysis and if we're going to sell, if we're going to buy some of these this high impact news and all of that, right? Because we trade high impact news and all of that, right? So and it's a win-win for all of us, right? Yeah, so that is it. So for me, that's how it's going to be this week. So if you're interested um in my mentorship, you can contact me from the Telegram channel, right? Yeah, I'm going to post Telegram channel on the description of this video so you can see from there and contact me and I'll be very open to discuss with you. My mentorship is open at this time, right? Yeah, so that is it for me this week. So this week, like I said, this week is going to be the most important week for the year because of these all activities coming up all at once, right? Yeah, so stay tuned and have a lovely weekend and well, I would say more peeps to your pocket this week, right? All right, take care and have a lovely evening. Thank you.